gives our drawings character and makes them unique. Otherwise, we'd all be doing exactly the same, or aiming to do exactly the same thing. So the back, so I had a little bit too much of a curve to the back. It's straighter than I had it. Then there's a slight raise when we come to the hindquarters, and then they actually come down at an angle there. That leg isn't too bad, but I've shown far too much of the leg that is actually much more hidden by the foreleg. So the hoof of the left foreleg comes to an end there. And we've got the belly, which wasn't too bad. And then another good tip is because I'm fairly happy with those legs, what I can do is if I hold my brush horizontal and line it up with the hock, then I can see that it's in this case it's actually pretty much exactly level with that knee. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's like the two Ronnies, isn't it? So that I managed to sight fairly well, and then the angle of this isn't too bad, but the hoof there is a little bit lower than this one, so that's okay. So that's not too. That rear leg isn't too bad, but it needs to be a little bit chunkier above the hock there, and the back end curves a bit more, and then there's a bit more of a gap than I had. And this leg is actually way further back than I had it. I now realise. And then the tail comes all the way to the ground. Okay, so we've got our outline of our horse, and then having done that, I'm going to stick with the same colour. But I'm going to work dark to light this time, I think. Or yeah, let's do that, because then that shows you something different. So what I'll do is I've still got that kind of orange on the brush, but we've got some quite dark shadows there. So I'll just mix in a load of burnt umber, and we'll just check the colour. I think that's certainly worth a go. So I've put some burnt umber on there with that kind of light orangey brown. And again, it's the same with colours. You don't have to match it exactly straight away. It's just a starting point, and if you end up with something you like, then you can stop. But with acrylic, if it's wrong, you can just change the colour. So and maybe show some of that underlayer showing through, so that you get a nice mix of colours. So what I'll do now, instead of starting with the mid-tone like I did with the cow, I'm going to squint at this stage and put in the regions of shadow, taking care to use my brush strokes to help describe form where I can, but in addition I'm noting quite carefully the shapes of the dark areas. So I went a bit wild there with the paint, so I'll just use the finger there to take some of that off. So we've got the underside of the belly is in shadow. There's a little bit of a cast shadow on the inside of that rear leg, and another one down here. There's a bit of shadow there as well. Okay, now having done that, so this is kind of a demo regarding what you were asking earlier. So I put that paint down. What if I just want to go over the top of that? Is it going to be a problem? Well, to be honest, I would probably